Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us for our Wednesday weather update recorded September the 20th. And there is some hot weather around New Zealand and Australia at the moment, but a colder change is on the way, bringing rain, snow and wind. It is spring. So let's have a look on the animated wind map. High pressure to the north. That's encouraging this subtropical northerly wind down around the country. And that's combined with a nor'wester out of Australia. So that's the reason why eastern areas, especially in the North Island today, are feeling the warmth. It's also pretty mild in the north. And you might have noticed the smoke in the sky, a bit of a hazy sky. That's some of the smoke coming from the fires out of Australia. We'll show you that in a moment as well. But look at this cold change coming out from Antarctica, going around that low pressure zone. So that is coming in with a cool down for Australia, and it's about to bring in some snow for New Zealand. So let's look at the temperatures. Here we are with the maximum departure from normal temperatures. This is for today, Wednesday. You can see that cooler change coming into the south, resetting temperatures back to where they should be. But it's still very hot in Sydney and other parts of New South Wales and inland areas, even getting up into Queensland. And then over in New Zealand, look at the temperature map today. A lot of that dark red, more than 8 degrees above what we would normally be recording at this time of the year. Now tomorrow, you can see that cooler change really coming in across Australia, and also at the very lower portion down there in Southland, coming into New Zealand. So that's the temperature change. But again, another warm day, warmer than average, right across New Zealand for the next day or two, and in a large portion of Australia. Also worth noting, it heats up over here in Western Australia as we go through tomorrow. So here are the fires I just mentioned, over 70 of them burning just here in New South Wales alone. So that's significant, and that's the main reason why you're seeing a bit of a hazy look in the sky at the moment, and the sunsets and sunrises are going to be a little bit more fiery, pun not intended. And we are likely to be seeing more of this weather in the months ahead because El Nino encourages more heat and nor'westers out of Australia towards New Zealand. So a bit of a concern for them. And I see Sydney Airport yesterday, its hottest ever September temperature, breaking its 2000 record and going back to the records when they started in 1939. So very hot weather. And when they're getting up to 36, 37 degrees in Sydney, and it's only September, we're 5 months away from the peak of summer heat. So that's why this is making a bit of news at the moment. But, it's remarkable. They've got this extreme heat, and look what we're getting here. Snow. Up to 0.5 metre of snow on the tops of the mountains. Great news for the ski fields here in the South Island. A dusting of snow. Not much in the north, though. There may be a little bit on the very tops of the mountains, but really it's more about the South Island, and that's coming in just over the next few days. And with it, some heavy west coast rain, up to 300 millimetres. For some areas there around South Westland. Not so much further north though, around Westport and Greymouth, about 70 millimetres or so up in the ranges there for you. And Southland's probably the main focus as far as populated regions are concerned because of the spillover. So Gore, maybe about 50 millimetres over the next couple of days, but there could be 100 millimetres or more the further west you are. And not very much here for the North Island, sort of in that 10 to 20 millimetre mark for the next 3 days ahead. But the good news is we'll be seeing a bit more, this is the 3 days ahead, but the weekend, rain comes into those eastern parts of the North Island as well. So we'll talk about that. Here we are for Thursday, lunchtime. In comes the rain, still have that subtropical or Australian north to northwesterly wind. So therefore it's pretty mild across eastern areas. But look at the colder change here. Hobart will be colder, so will Melbourne, and later on Canberra, and getting into Sydney. You'll find that temperature dropping. You can switch off the AC and save a bit of money. Let's get into Friday. Colder around the South Island. That's the rain, heavy rain on the west coast, falling as snow around the mountains and ranges. High pressure coming into the southern part of Australia, calming things down for you. But it's still pretty mild with those subtropical winds around the North Island, and it stays that way into Saturday as well. Still subtropical for some areas here around the North Island, but colder weather coming in to the lower part of the North Island. So rain does move through, and now those dry eastern areas where you don't see much in the way of rain there on Saturday, but by Sunday it does come in. And Napier's rainfall totals and Hastings anywhere around 30 to 50 millimetres. So go to ruralweather.co.nz for your very latest rainfall numbers. But we've got some rain coming through there. That make the most of it. I mean, El Nino's announced. We've got another video about that today. Now that El Nino's officially here, rainfall in the east is going to disappear. Well, not totally disappear, but taper off. So any rain you get like this is welcome. And our final map for Monday next week still shows a little bit of wet weather lingering around. Certainly a bit colder on Monday following this warm weather we've just got at the moment. It'll be much cooler around New Zealand on Monday of next week. And then warmer weather here returning to Adelaide and Melbourne as that high pressure zone drifts further and further out to the east. So El Nino, it is officially here, announced by the Bureau of Meteorology yesterday. We've got another video about that, so please do take a look at it. It will explain what El Nino is going to do to our weather pattern here in New Zealand and Australia over the spring and summer months. But that is all from me for now. We'll see you again later on.